What's going on, everybody? This is the Silent Gamer and I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the HD link cable for the Dreamcast. I saw this immediately. I wanted to buy it because I wanted to test it out. You can hook up this cable to your modern TV with your HDMI plugs or your ports, and you can actually play your Dreamcast with this HD cable. And I was very excited when I first saw it. I thought it was something that a lot of people would really, want to use, especially if you're a big fan of the Dreamcast. I'm a big fan of it. As one of my favorite consoles of all time, probably behind the original Xbox, because I'm a really big original Xbox fan. And you already know the whole story if you watch my video about the Dreamcast in the original Xbox. But anyway, this cable right here will let you use the HDMI port in your TV, and it hooks directly into the from Dreamcast to the TV. It's a very nice product from what I've used so far. I'm gonna give you some examples, and this is the cable right here. See, it plugs in from your Dreamcast, it goes in the back, and it's a direct HDMI port that goes right into the back of your TV. A lot of people have been using VGA, they've been using SCART cables for their Dreamcast, and I understand because VGA gives you clean, pure 480p signal. It does a great job. This console was using 480p before, any other console. This was back in 98, 99, and 480p was nothing anyone was thinking about. Nobody was talking about resolution back then. But Sega was ahead of the game, and they really wanted to push that signal out to the masses. And for the most part, these consoles could really be used for computer monitors, the old school computer monitors. And so they really was ahead of the game. But you only could use VGA, and in some cases with VGA you didn't have sound, and you had to use another port for sound, and you could use SCART. But if you was in Europe, that was a big thing there, and we just started using it later on, and that gives you a clean signal as well. But I'm going to tell you the differences behind those. Anyway, this cable right here is made by a company called Pound, and they've been doing a pretty good job of their stuff. They do have an HDMI cable for the original Xbox, which, I didn't get a chance to do a video on. Maybe I would do one down the line, but this is the video this is the cable right here. Same thing, it plugs into your original Xbox, and it's an HDMI output, and you can plug it directly into your TV, for modern televisions. And like I said, you can tell they're made by the same company with the same design or whatever. So I'll put that right there. Anyway, I think it's fantastic to have this for anyone who wants to really just use their TV and not have to do all this crazy setup, because there's a lot of things you're going to have to do with this setup. But if you want to use VGA or if you want to get a clean signal. So like I said, this HDMI cord is very convenient. A couple things you might want to know, that all games on the Dreamcast don't go out in 480p, or not necessarily 480p, but it doesn't give you a VGA signal. So this cable taps into the VGA signal of the Dreamcast, and it basically gives you that signal, the VGA signal, into the HDMI, and I think this is the converter, and it goes right into your TV. So you don't have to use a VGA cord. And a couple games that don't work with that, NBA Showtime on NBC, it'll work, but you have to use a workaround for this title. So maybe one day I'll talk about that title. I know there's other videos out there way more prominent than I am, and that really could tell you about the VGA ports or whatever. Not the VGA, but games that don't work with the VGA cords or whatever. And this game right here, King of Fighters, Dream Match 99, it does not work at all. So if you want to use this cord and you want to play a game like this, it may not work. It's just not going to work. It may not. It's just not going to work. So those two games, and there's plenty other ones, but just in general, that this cord is handicapped because of, well, I ain't gonna say the cord is handicapped. There's nothing wrong with the cord. It's just that these games are handicapped that don't really use the VGA unless in some cases there's a workaround or they just don't work at all. But before this cable came out, I've been using other devices to get the best quality out of the Dreamcast. Back in the day, and I mean, I'm not even gonna go into what I did back in the day. I used component cables, and not component, but composite cables, and I've used a little bit of S-Video, which I have that laying around here. But if you're using an HD TV, you're not gonna want to use any of those. It's just pointless to use. I've used SCART, which is a European standard of video output. And this is what it looks like. It has a very weird signal, head to it. But you plug it into the back of a European TV, and this would actually work into their televisions. Now, we in America did not get this. And so, with that being said, we had other ways of trying to use it. Now, there is a SCART to HDMI. There's a SCART to HDMI converter out there. I recommend not using it. I had it, but I recently threw it away because it just did not work. It was terrible, especially for my capture card. It just wasn't really viable, so I didn't use it anymore. But this is what they use in Europe, and you can see the composite output that you can use now, because there are some games that don't use this in the Dreamcast. See, so it's very weird. You can see how some games just don't work with certain video quality. The Dreamcast is way ahead of its time, but I think it just wasn't fulfilled to what it can really do. There's a lot of untapped potential in this console because there are some games that just wouldn't use the video output. So I did use SCART, and like I said, with SCART, you can use, like I said, the HDMI converter, or you can use the OSSC, which is what I have here. This right here is an amazing looking, it makes games look amazing. It's an amazing looking device, and the games look amazing. Like, you'll plug the SCART cable into here, this area right here, and it will come out through the output, it come through the HDMI port, which is right here, and that will go straight into your modern television, which it looks fantastic on that. And this is for enthusiasts. I may just make another video on that, completely review of that, and so I'll let y'all know. If you're interested in the OSSC, it's not just for the Dreamcast, it's for a bunch of retro games on console. So maybe one day I will make a video on that itself. So another thing that I've used prior to getting this was the HD video converter. Now you can see this is the VGA cable and this is the audio, and I will plug the Dreamcast straight from here into here. And what I do, I use the quality of that, and it looks really nice. It looks nice and it looks really good. But this right here, I'm gonna give you guys some comparisons and see what you guys think about this cable. Like I said, once again, it's the HDMI, it goes straight. There's just one cable. There's no converters that are needed, and I'm going to use Dead or Alive 2. Yeah, this is the game that I have, Dead or Alive 2, and I think it's going to show off the colors and show how clean the game is, because this is one game that looks really nice on the Dreamcast. You know, this, and I have Soul Calibur 2 as well, but I think, I'm sorry, the original Soul Calibur, but I'm going to use Dead or Alive 2, and we're going to see how that goes, and I can give you my final thoughts. Once again, the link will be down in the description of how to get this. This is the HDMI link cable for the Dreamcast, and I hope you guys just take a peek. Oh, and I'm sorry, if you haven't seen the price for this, is only $29.99. You can't beat that for 30 bucks. You really can't beat the price for this. So I think this is a pretty good deal from what I see. So for what I've seen, and I'm gonna give you guys a little comparison, and I'm gonna close the video out. Okay, this is me using the SCART cable through the OSSC, and you can see where it looks kind of blurry. It doesn't look as clean, and therefore it just I mean, to me, you can play this way. It's not that bad. The quality is fairly okay at best. But this is what I used when I was using the OSSC through SCART. Okay, now this is what it looks like using the VGA to HDMI converter to me, it looks really good. It looks very clean, way better than the first clip. And this is about as good as you can get if you can get that converter. Now, the converter and the HDMI cable, I mean, you may be paying a little bit over $30, maybe $40 for both. Maybe you can find it cheaper, I don't know, but that's what I paid for it at the time. But you can see how well this looked. Now, with the OSSC via VGA, you can see where it's a big difference compared to the SCART cable through the OSSC, and now we have the VGA cable through the OSSC, and you can see where it looks a little more defined. The players look really good, and not only that, you can turn on scan lines if you're able to do that. I think somewhere in this clip I do turn on the scan lines where you can see how well it looks, and with the scan lines it just looks much more cleaner, a little bit darker, but it gets rid of a lot of jagged edges, and I am a really big fan of using the scan line, so it's great for it. All right, so this is the HDMI cable, the direct one from Pound. The quality looks great. It looks really good, just like the rest of them, but for some reason my capture card shifted the screen. So if you're really trying to use this to capture a video, just be mindful of something like that. But overall, the picture looks great. This is not what it looks like on my television. It just, for some reason, the capture card shifted the screen. So that's something to be mindful if you decide to, record audio, record video for something like, gameplay or whatever, and you want to use this. I use my Hauppauge PVR, and that's what happened. But I can recommend it if you're just going to be playing games, but this is something that you may want to think about if you're going to attempt to record gameplay. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, I know I held you guys over for a while, and you can look at the comparisons over again and just let me know what's going on with your thoughts of the whole situation. But I think that it looks great. Overall, I can recommend it if it's just about gameplay. And once again, just let me know, and you guys like, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys take care. Peace.